think we turned it off.
And I mean, yeah, we turn it in. Yeah, but I don't think we have.
Stop it now. All right. Good evening, and welcome to Africanna Radio. It's CrossFire time. I think for your mama Juba Africanna Radio. So another Wednesday again. I'm to say the CrossFire do my Geneva Bramo. Enti Montasumuna Muntie Boko na mpanyinfo atena se. We co-presenter wa Richard. Mr. D so our background or setting up, you know. Hopefully, no, he might come on board as time goes on. They are not agronia than over. Agronia than over. Anyway, good evening once again, listeners. This is CrossFire coming to you all the way from Bedford, United Kingdom, and tonight we are going to bring you a whole lot of discussions on topical issues in Ghana, current matters in Ghana, and of course what's happening around the world. I hope we'll be getting our usual contributors as well. Steve from Brixton and Richard Swindon will also be joining us, hopefully. Of course, listeners will also be given the opportunity to phone into the program.
And Freddie, where is Freddie?
And contribute. Freddie, how are you? Let us hear from you, please. We need to hear your input. A lot is happening. Anyway, my good friend, how are you?
Oh, I'm good, sir. How are you?
Nice
as
one.
always, I'm lucky, and my family, I should say, lucky to be part of the divine selection. So can't complain. We're
Okay.
good, yeah. Thank you.
Anyway, just to alert listeners that we are broadcasting live on Facebook. If you go to my Facebook wall, I guess I have to share now so that those who are following me on Facebook can also follow the program. Also, you can get us on YouTube, Africanna Radio on YouTube, and then Africanna Radio on Facebook as well. You can follow us there. Also, we are broadcasting on TuneIn, the TuneIn app on the online radio portal. Just type in Africanna Radio on TuneIn and you'll follow us there. You can listen to the program via the TuneIn app. Where else can you get us? We have our app, Africanna Radio app on the Google Play Store.
Yeah, they can also get us on the My Wall as well on Facebook.
My wall, your wall, Richard's wall on Facebook. Well, he shared it, so if you are following Richard, you can also get him there, Africanna Radio, and then tune into the program. We would like to hear from you, your comments and your contributions. Yes, my good friend. Before let me say good evening to. It's been our tradition. Why is it gone off?
I don't know what's going on there.
No, I think I turned mine off.
It's like it's live.
It's live, yeah.
But
It's still broadcasting.
Is it?
Yeah. You got to refresh yours. Listeners, bear with us. We are trying to sort out this technology business. Yeah. Refresh it because I've got Richard Apia is watching you. I think you are picking from me. Pick it from Africanna Radio because I went off.
No, don't say Africanna. That's where I'm thinking from. Like,
all right. Let's go ahead. You can still pick us on Africanna Radio on Facebook or go to YouTube and you follow the stream live. Yes, I said I wanted to say a good evening, a special good evening to Cancer 90 brothers. It's a long time I said hello to you guys, and with your partners and your honeys and your missus. Also to all our friends in London, patriotic citizen members, good evening to you all. Good evening to our friends in Bedford and the Africanna radio crew. We do have the Africanna radio listeners, a very special focus group. Good evening as well. And then obviously for those who are not aware, Africanna radio Ghana is running live. And so we have our Ghanaian listeners following us both directly from the UK and also from the Africanna radio station in Ghana. Mama Alice, original. What to say? Yeah, that was it. I know what you are power or Ghana, Africanna radio. That's Tonka. I mean, shout. Well, jingles in Nyagro. Nyagro. We'll play one before we go. You say, I am your hine party. A special good evening to all our Ghanaian listeners, especially those based in Ghana. David, my own brother, good evening, and to the rest of the family. And of course, my honey. She listens to me as she pretends like she doesn't listen to the program. Mavis, Mrs. Amokwando, good evening. It's a long time. Let's hear from you.
Yeah.
All right. Richard, what's happening?
It's a good. I mean, what do we have today for discussion, the topics that we have?
Oh, well, we have quite a few to talk about. Yeah. Yes. There is a lot on our plate. Tonight, I think what we want to do is that we don't want to spend too much time on one issue so that we can move on and then come back to get to other matters, and because a lot is happening.
Yeah.
But first of all, you know our tradition. We go around the world. Let's do some detour. You know, let's digress a little bit. It's very important because you see the reason why we do that is that we are following the footsteps of the Western world in terms of our democratic dispensation.
Yeah.
They set the pace. It was imposed on us whether we like it or not through colonialism and then the subsequent, you know. Not now. Yeah. It was imposed on us, and so we have to, obviously, as we are following their footsteps, we need to see what's going on. See if we can pick one or two, you know, learn one or two lessons from what is happening around the Western world in terms of the democratic, our democratic journey. Yeah. And so let's start with Syria, my brother. Syria. My good friend, the other day I was, you know, usually behind the scenes, me and Mr. D, we've been having our usual fights before we get on board. So we do what we call the the curtain raiser before we get to the show. And tell me, what do you think about this strike?
I think the one good thing that I should say is, you know, the press conference that came up this evening. I don't know if you watched it, between the
Restelson and Sergei Lavrov. I like them. I mean, you could see diplomacy at its highest level, my brother. Trust me.
And the good thing is everyone is allowed to, you know, you could see that no one is coerced. They are not trying to hide anything. They just say.
There is one thing though. There is some serious mutual respect for each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Restelson happens to be someone who has had a lot of, you know, business dealings in Russia, so he knows all of these guys very well. I wouldn't say on a personal level, but he knows them, and so that mutual respect, you could sense it was there.
Yeah.
They were all free to express their opinions, their views. no matter how forcefully it was, there was still that respect.
Forcefully? What do you mean by forcefully?
Oh yes, both of them expressed their position so forcefully. You know, I like that Sergei Lavrov guy. The guy knows what he's talking about. He's clearly.
They're both experienced politicians.
With Rex, I don't know yet.
Yes.
He's a businessman. He just came into it, but he could bring. You could see that what we call transferable skills. He brought it from his business world straight away onto the political scene, and
whichever field they are playing with the experience.
Yeah,
both of them. That's what they need. This mutual respect.
That's what I'm saying.
Is playing in here.
The thing I liked about the press conference today was the fact that they made us aware about what they agreed on and what they disagreed on. You know, they had their differences, but they still made a press conference. They made their points clear. In terms of, I mean, we all know where Russia, who they support in terms of, you know.
Oh yes. But you see,
they are not trying to hide it.
What I want us to talk about quickly before we go on to matters arising back home is, what's your view on the strike? Was it a good thing? That military action that?
No, it couldn't have been. That's the thing, and I'm glad, you know.
You say it could have done what?
No, I can't say it's a good thing.
You say it is not.
Can't.
You can't say it's a good thing.
Support it.
Why?
No, I can't support it.
Mm.
And I'm sure it's exactly the point.
The question I would have preferred you to ask is, what did it achieve?
Exactly.
What did they achieve?
Exactly.
Oh,
it couldn't have been. I mean,
yes.
We cannot avoid that. You take an action, and that action has to be. It has to achieve. You know.
I think it has achieved a lot.
All right. In terms of.
Well, positives or negatives?
Positive.
Really?
Positive, yes. Now, I'll tell you why.
We'll get there. You go ahead.
Before we go ahead, let me acknowledge Dr. Kofi Edu. He's following us. And Mimi Osei Lavinia is also following us.
Doctor, good evening. I hope you're doing very well. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. You see, I say it's good because, one, it tells you that you have a leader who responds to crisis or issues. Now, I don't believe in people going around moaning about something and then not being able to do anything about it. Do you get what I mean? Now, if you compare what he did to what Barack Obama did in 2013, before 2013, Obama came out clearly, administration, not specifically Obama, but his administration, actually him, came out clearly and gave that, oh, if Trump crosses, Assad uses chemical weapons, that's the red line. Military action will follow.
And he didn't do it.
He used it. Nothing happened. We didn't see anything.
Okay.
And there was evidence that he used chemical weapons.
Okay. So are you trying to suggest that this is going to be the end of Assad using chemical weapons?
Oh yes, I am telling you, this is going to be the end of it.
Okay.
Now, if you see, I'm looking at it from the strategic point of view as to whether actually it was Assad who used the chemical weapons.
That was the point I was going to make.
You see, it doesn't really matter. The thing happened under his watch in his country, okay? And by what we call preponderance of the evidence, he has used it before, not once, twice at least, or even 3 times. So there is no evidence that even the rebels have used chemical weapons or any other person in the region has used it, apart from Assad. So for that reason, if you want to ask me who probably might have used that, I will say yes, I will believe Assad. Yes. So far, the independent investigations done by the US and the West, let's call it that way, we know they are biased. They don't want Assad already. So they say he did it. So if you are the president of the West, the free world, the leader, and this is the intelligence you are having, what are you going to do? Okay? So that is why I say it was a good thing he did. And now, it sent a strong warning to Assad to realize that he can't just do things anyhow if he did it. 2, it also sent a message to Russia that if you think we can't do anything, this is not Obama's time. This is me. Okay? You don't think that because you are backing them, I will not challenge you.
I will side with you whether your last submission.
So that makes it, that alone sent a message to Russia. Look at their tone now. Putin says yes, he's going to allow, there's going to be cooperation. Now he's changing. He's realizing that, look, Because at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, we keep saying that Russia has got also a nuclear superpower. The West doesn't want to be in confrontation with Russia. So does it mean that we should allow others to use nuclear weapons? Should we sit down and watch chemical weapons, Assad to use chemical weapons? Now he's starting with his people. The next thing, he'll be going to Israel. The next thing, he'll be attacking everyone else in the world. North Korea is trying to do the same thing. So there must be some action.
What does this remind me of? We're all here when the US invaded Iraq on the pretext of Iraq having a weapon of mass destruction.
Hang on a
we
second.
all know how it turned out.
You see, look.
You're basing, basing your argument on the facts that you think Assad is the only one that has got the capability to do it. So, without even any shred of evidence, we're still pinning it to him, saying that he's the one that used that.
No, well, then you have to provide me an alternative evidence because it happened in his country. You see, if you have those kind of weapons, you have a responsibility, not just a moral one, but a serious legal duty to protect it, wherever it is. So Britain has got chemical weapons.
So the fact that it has gotten into somebody's hand to use it, we assume that
it is in your country.
That's right.
You control the region.
But the Russians are saying that, they're also saying that they don't have any evidence to prove that Assad,
But who did it then? They should tell us who did it.
It comes back to what you are saying.
That is the point. Yeah. Who did it? So I am looking at the preponderance of the evidence. It could be circumstantial, but the fact is that, you see, when you compare this to the time the invasion of Iraq, that time it was, Iraq, Saddam Hussein has got chemical weapons.
I'm sure.
We are talking, someone has used it. We have seen the evidence.
Yeah.
People have died.
Yeah.
Kids are dying.
Yeah.
Should we sit there and say, we don't know who did it, so we are not going to take action? Do you get the point I'm making? So I'm not looking at the fact that I enjoy someone. I'm not a person who enjoys this regime change. But that message that was sent was enough for me to let the guy know that if you are doing that, it's not right. To let Russia know that if you are backing him to do it, it's not right. If not, Russia has the capability of knowing who used that.
You see,
but they are not saying it. Why are they not coming out with the evidence?
The Americans are also thinking that all what this Assad is doing, because he knows that the Russians are supporting him. That's what he's doing.
And that is the more reason why this strike reinforces the notion that you can have the support of Russia, but if we want to attack you, we will attack you. We don't care. Now, will Russia risk fighting the West? Ask yourself. Though at the end of the day, who is going to lose?
Right,
all of us will lose. Let's call it that way.
Don't get me wrong. As far as the reason behind it, in terms of the message that they are sending, I totally agree. The message is clear.
Yeah.
That regardless of who is protecting you or who you're hiding behind, we can still attack if we want to.
Yeah.
But my worry is, you can't just go about bombing someplace thinking that the chemical bomb that came out was coming from their camp. What if you are wrong? That's all.
No,
that's the point I'm making.
No, the point is that. But let's be specific here. So I am saying that what is the alternative? What should have been the alternative?
The alternative is if you are going to go and then bomb someplace where
no bombing.
Okay.
What's the alternative?
The alternative to me.
If you're going to retaliate, if you're going to go on a retaliatory way, then you need to make sure that you've got it right.
No, he's not retaliating.
Okay.
Obama did not retaliate.
Right.
Assad used chemical weapons in 2013.
Hold on.
The whole world saw that. Obama did not retaliate. What happened?
The alternative that you are asking for, right?
Yes.
It is exactly what they are doing now, which I always call for. Sitting around the table and talk.
Now
hold on.
Go on. Okay, finish your point.
Because the military intervention or the military bombing doesn't solve the problem. It does not. And I hold on. And I always say that.
You set me on fire.
And I always say that if you can educate a cat and a dog to live together, I cannot see why human beings cannot sit on the table and talk to resolve issues. And this is exactly what they are doing now. Wow. Why are they in Moscow?
Have you finished?
I have finished.
Can I come in now?
Go come in now.
Thank you, Mr. D. Thank you. Now I'll tell you why they are sitting in Moscow. If Donald Trump hadn't ordered this strike, this meeting in Moscow would not have happened. Trust me, it wouldn't have happened. Believe you me, it wouldn't have happened because he ordered the strike.
Exactly.
The Russians sat up and said, hey, we need to sit down now and then talk. I am telling you.
It's the American pushing. It is the American pushing that we need to talk to Putin.
No. Putin had a right to say that I'm not going. Before Tillerson got to Russia, Moscow today, Putin, there was rumor that Putin was not going to meet him. But eventually he met the guy. They talked, they spoke. All right? So what I'm saying is that if not for this strike action, this meeting wouldn't have been successful or wouldn't have taken place. We would have been sitting there aside, oh, we have to do something, we have to do something, we have to do something.
So with a strike killing innocent people, is it justifiable?
Who are the innocent people?
Didn't the innocent people die over there?
No. Which innocent people?
Are you saying there
were some people, there were some, I think even some children were even got killed.
Collateral damage?
Yeah. Children, yes. Children were killed and they were even in the hospitals and things like that. So are you telling me that?
No. We are talking about the strike didn't cause any collateral damage. People are already dying in Syria. Don't get me wrong.
That doesn't mean that go and throw bombs to kill.
But it doesn't. Does it also mean that you should use chemical weapons? You see, I wasn't a fan of this, but I sat back when it first happened. I've been someone like your position that look, this interventionist change of regime is not a good thing. But there is one thing: this war has been going on for the past 6 years.
7 years now.
What the West is doing is that they are supporting these rebels. And my position has always been: you support the rebels, and you get rid of Assad, and then the rebels turn around.
Yeah.
And that is what we had in Libya. That's what we had in Iraq.
That's right.
And then we have ISIS taking over.
Yeah.
So it's not a good thing. Allow them to fight. The stronger party will take over. So either they all support Assad, and then he crushes the rebels, and then we have a unified country.
That's right.
That way it works well. Now they are not doing that. They are rather supporting the rebels. So Assad is not able to do what? Win. Because even though he had the support of Russia, and people are dying here and there.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But immediately this guy uses the chemical weapons, it changes the ball game. Because yes, war in general is not good, but when it comes to chemical weapons,
you've crossed the line.
It's like we have all agreed that there is this common definition, even including Russia, but they have it, they don't use it. That hey, when you use chemical weapons, that's it.
Yeah.
You've crossed the line, because it's something that all of us can disappear. If you are using conventional weapons, it's acceptable. That's the definition of war, because it's acceptable. We have Steve on the line. Let me answer his call. Where is that? Hello, Steve.
Yeah.
Hello.
Great. Good evening. And welcome to CrossFire.
You've come too early today.
You couldn't wait for us to finish, eh?
No.
How are you, my friend?
No, good.
Good. All right. Yeah, quickly, let me just land, and I'll pick your contribution. Yeah, please.
Okay.
So, what I'm saying is that when you cross that line, when the whole world, everyone agrees that you can't use these weapons, though we've manufactured them, and it still doesn't add up to me. If they are not to be used, why do you still keep them? Why don't you destroy them? Do you get a point? And the guy has used it, and we all saw what was happening on TV. And there was a time when we said that if he uses it, he's crossing a red line. Military action will follow. He used it, nothing happened. Immediately there's a change of government, he tries to use it again. Now, even if he's not the one who used it, it was under his territory, his watch. It has been used. So should we sit back and fold our hands and say, oh, we don't know who did it? Obviously, he will not come out and say that I did it. Why hasn't ISIS claimed responsibility for that? ISIS of all people, ISIS, they chop people's head. They can't claim responsibility for the chemical weapon. So it tells me that something is wrong.
Yeah, so what if ISIS are trying to set Assad up?
That is their problem. That is Assad's problem. As far as I'm concerned, Assad did have chemical weapons. he was forced to destroy some of these chemical weapons or all of it in 2013. We don't know whether all was destroyed, but it has been used in his country. Now, if chemical weapons are used in this country, here, Britain, anywhere in Britain, the government must investigate and tell us where that happened. When Alexander Litvinenko was killed, poisoned with that polonium, whatever they call it, polonium 600, or I can't remember the number associated with it. They traced the whole thing, did the investigation. I watched a panorama program, and it was quite deadly. Okay, underground were closed and all that. They just didn't announce it, and it turns out that it was the Russians who did that. So we need to find a trail. You have a responsibility to control those deadly weapons in your country. If you are not able to do that, then hey, I'm afraid we will hold you responsible because it is in your house. Then tell us where it is coming from. Okay? Anyway, Steve, I'll give you the last word on that so that we move on to Ghana matters, please.
Well, I think what is happening in Syria is not a threat, at least. There's a civil war, casualties, civilians, and everything going on there. I don't think any well-meaning person will say anything good about it. However, we just have to also be very careful when certain groups of people begin to blame anybody about what is going on there. You have to find out what is their interest. Why are they blaming a particular person whilst the war that is going on there is being exported by two or more groups? And as we are all discussing these issues here, we all subscribe to democratic system of governance everywhere in the world, however possible. So if the people of Syria,
I like that however possible that you put it. I like that statement.
Because if you guys will remember, even in the midst of this civil war, Syrians have had elections and Assad won. If you remember, they have had elections and Assad has won. So the stance that the US and some allied nations are taking, as far as I'm concerned, it seems to be a double standard. Because you are preaching democracy, and then at another breath you are supporting another group who wants to oust a democratically elected government. It's something that we really have to be very careful.
I agree with you to the extent that, Steve, I perfectly agree with you to the extent that, left to me alone, the West will leave Syria and then just allow Assad to crush these rebels and then do what? Unify his country. But the moment this chemical weapons thing comes in, okay, and we've seen it, unless you want to tell me that that action, that drama we saw on TV on the 4th of April was not chemical weapons, but it was just a normal conventional issue. Now, once that comes in, that is a different thing that threatens not just the Syrian lives, but everybody else's. Yes.
If you listen to my opening statement, I said that any well-meaning person will not condone whatever is going on there.
Okay.
However, it does not also give anybody the sole right to, in his or her own mind or in his or her own interest, begin to take certain actions, because we are dealing with sovereign nations here. Do we really have concrete evidence that Assad used chemical weapons on these guys?
I am saying that, you see, I am saying that that's evidence-based. You see, the moment there is chemical weapons in the equation, we go beyond the issue of evidence. The territory where it was used is where we need to look at it. Okay, now, that concrete evidence, where are we going to get the concrete evidence from? Yes.
If you begin to look at what is happening in Syria and tag somebody as the cause of it, anything that you go to do there will at least will always be skewed to the one that you are blaming.
No, aren't you thinking? Don't
let's also remind ourselves that there is a civil war in that country, which more than two groups are involved. You were saying something that why hasn't ISIL come to claim responsibility on it? In whatever they are doing, it can be ISIL leading this, but they decide not to say anything about it. So if ISIL doesn't claim responsibility, it doesn't mean that it's Assad who did it.
But at the moment, we don't know who did it. The evidence the West has gathered, hold on. So far, the evidence the West has gathered points to the fact that Assad did it. Yes.
Let's remember that there's war in the country. And you know that when there's war in a particular country, law and order is broken down.
I agree.
So Assad is seen to be in control of the country. He does not control the whole of the country.
Assad controls 75% of the country.
Yeah, so you can't put every blame on him. There's war. And why there's a civil war, why is he going? Because
you see, for me, okay, Steve, you see, I agree with all you are saying to 90%. Now, the 10% or is it 99? The 1% where I agree with the strike is that look, there has been a lot of killings. They've been shelling hospitals. They've been shelling food aid convoys and the rest. No one lifts a finger. No one says. All they do, they report it in the news. But the moment chemical weapons comes in, it's a different ball game. It changes the scenario. So unless you agree that because it is war, it is okay for anyone at all to use chemical weapon in the war situation, then I will accept what you're saying. Yes.
If you follow the international laws, even about war, you say that even in war, you don't use chemical weapons. It's part of the regulation.
So why is someone using it?
Yes. So why would somebody use it? So here, we want to establish the fact that was it really used by Assad? That's the point I'm saying.
No, you see, but even if it wasn't used by Assad, I agree. And let's say Assad didn't use it. Steve, Assad didn't use it. I accept that. But for me, there is evidence that it came from a particular location. Now, that particular location is where the United States went and bombed. Okay?
The point is
that particular location is where the United States went and bombed.
We need to have a hardcore evidence to be able to put certain things and label certain people. Because we were here. It has not been long that the UK and the US blamed Saddam that he had chemical weapons and all those things. Up to date, who has been able to bring the
No, it's different from having chemical weapons and using chemical weapons. We are not talking about someone having it. We are talking about using it. Yes.
There was an invasion, and the cause of the invasion was that he had chemical weapons. That was it. The whole world, everybody knows. This one is not that me, it's not that I'm trying to.
I understand that. I agree with you. I don't support that invasion either.
To throw the same line again. These are the same people who are talking about somebody using chemical weapons.
So let me ask you this then. Do you agree with Barack Obama? Steve.
Now listen.
Steve.
Do you know that now the US is like indirectly in control of Iraq? Up to date, they've not been able to bring any peace.
Steve, I agree with you. This attack, Steve, this is just an isolation.
Look at the world in the matter of fairness. I won't sit there.
Steve, however, hear me out here. This is an isolated incident. So far, the war has been going on. The West has taken its side. They already want Assad out. So Assad is the bad guy. So any chemical weapons used on his land, he used it. Now, I already mentioned to Richard and Mr. D that Assad has used chemical weapons before. It's not that he hasn't. Barack Obama said, if he crosses the line, we will go in military. In 2013, he did it. There was evidence. Nothing happened. The guy, something has happened. I'm not saying he used it again.
I mean, what you are even saying now justifies that he controls this chemical weapon.
He controls
so it's likely that it's more likely that he used it than.
Yes.
The point is so simple. If one would have stopped the US who are now blaming Assad for using a chemical to do an investigation and come with a hardcore evidence.
US has done the investigation, they've come with their evidence. They have the evidence. It is just that the investigation was not led by the United Nations.
That evidence needs to be tabled at the UN.
Look, my brother, you and I know very well that when we go to the UN talking about Assad, Moscow will say they have a veto power.
Yes, that's right.
So they will veto anything that you take to the Security Council. Yes.
Listen, we have been talking about law enforcement, law and order on this platform for other countries. And then you cannot exclude the US.
You see,
and then
I share your optimism and your what do you call it, your point. I share your point 100%. I just want us to move on quickly, but let me just mention this. You see, I always tell Mr. D, and maybe possibly I have to mention it on air here. When a common sense does not stop a nonsense, another nonsense must stop that nonsense. It's a philosophy that I rely on when all options are explored. Now, we are faced with a danger here. The US that hasn't invaded Syria. The US did not bomb Assad's headquarters to kill Assad. The US did not attack. They just bombed, and they even informed the Russians that we are going to attack.
In as much as I agree with your philosophy, it still does not solve the problem.
Oh, I've already demonstrated to you that this, as a result of this, look at the cooperation we are getting from Russia now.
It's been happening. I mean, this sort of bombing has been happening.
Bombing. The US has never directly bombed Syria.
No.
Yes. Steve, this is just by way of what we call comedy. Let's go home, please. Let's go home. Let's leave the Syria matters to the international experts. Okay, please, let's go home. That is where our national interest lies. So let's go and talk about the parliamentary bribery allegation findings and Ayariga's punishment. Quick one. I don't want us to spend so much time. Are you satisfied with the punishment so far? Are you happy?
I would say no.
No.
They should have suspended.
Oh, okay.
That should have set a good example to any other person.
Absolutely, yeah.
Especially there are quite a few people in the parliament now who are serious, because I'm sure they never dreamt of being there. So they are there and they are just misbehaving. Ayaga is the chief of them. The Biafra is the next to him. Sam George, Tutu Kote, that.
Please, so are you saying let me play. Let me ask this. Are you saying it's only the NDC folks who are not serious there?
Oh yes, so far. That's Samson Ahi is one of them. Yes, and then DH, the guy who was a Daniel officer, he used to be a deputy minister.
Yeah. So you mean
we are not serious.
There is no NPP MP in there who is also part of them?
Listen, so far the ones that I've identified, what I've mentioned. If I come across any other names, I'll put it there. That's to me.
That's
to me. They don't about the thing.
Is it?
How they just make the fabricated. Look at how this whole issue about the brother allegation, a whole lawyer going to say that, oh, I heard that somebody was saying it and I'm also putting it out there. Look at it. A whole lawyer.
So you are not happy with the punishment. You wanted a suspension, right?
In fact, I agree with what Steve is saying. Because, and then again, you see, this the bribery scandal. It's not the first time we've heard that in Parliament over there under President Kufuor's term there were these kickbacks and things like that which went on. And then
even Martin Amidu came to say that they take money before they approve.
So at least they should have used this guy as a sacrificial lamb, as I always say. For it to serve as a perpetual deterrent for these MPs, that the position they are holding is not just ordinary positions.
Yeah.
So if they had suspended this guy then at least they would take, or they would have taken Parliament for a bit, for serious. So that at least, yeah, I agree with what Steve is saying. Yeah, definitely.
The new meeting of the whole thing. We are talking about pride. And Ghana, if nothing at all, the last year, 2 years, 3 years ago, people have been crying about bribe and corruption and all those things. Now you are saying that the Parliament House is where the bribe is now being cooked, prepared and set. And you would have done us a lot of good by helping us find concrete evidence really to nail the thing down. You just talk about this and all of a sudden
so
just done
Steve, if you don't agree with the suspension, why do you think the speaker decided not to suspend him and just give him that, is it a slap on the wrist? Why?
Because it's something that they would do.
I would have expected him to have been suspended.
Yes, okay, good. I mean, if you don't agree with the punishment that was given out, yeah. So why would the speaker do that?
Based on the findings of the committee, he said that this is his first time. This is his first time, and because of it being the first time, that is why they are going, that the lenient with that, they asked him to use the apology. And he was just also motivating about even the apology. So I thought the speaker would have come back to let him know that, or you have been given the chance to apologize and you are just misbehaving, then we give you a paper punishment.
And so what does that tell us of the speaker then?
Pardon?
What does that tell us of the speaker?
I wouldn't say the speaker is, but I think the speaker is just pampering him.
Pampering?
He's just pampering him.
It still doesn't follow. You see, last week I was saying that I have a feeling that this is the reason why I say the conclusion is what I call anticlimax.
I totally agree with you.
Okay, you start with something logically, and then the conclusion is like, what is this? The logical conclusion was that this guy should have been suspended. Now, remember, when people of authority who hold that privilege, Ayariga is called honorable. He is not called honorable for no reason. You and I are not called honorable. Please, let me make this quick point. You and I are not called honorable, but he is called honorable because we have given him that title for him to behave in a particular manner befitting the authority that he occupies or he holds as a member of parliament. How many are there? 275 of 25 million or so people. So you hold a very privileged and special position in power that your behavior must, if possible, be beyond reproach. But here we are, him doing that, and then an opportunity has arisen for the parliament to investigate itself, to redeem its image. You do your investigation. Meanwhile, people criticize you when you set up this whole committee that you can't investigate yourself, even if the law permits that. It is not ethically right because it wouldn't be seen as you are doing a fair job. And lo and behold, look at what you did. So that tells me that something, either the investigation was rubbish,
Ghanaians always they always miss the opportunity of redeeming themselves. They miss that all the time.
In as much as I agree with you that the punishment, so to speak, given to him, it renders the whole thing a bit of an anticlimax.
Then agree with the logical conclusion I'm drawing, my brother.
I cannot agree with you. I can agree in as much, like I said, in as much as I agree with you with the anticlimax as far as the conclusion of the punishment was concerned. I also do not think that we should continue in the way that Ayariga and his gangs wanted us to.
Who?
Ayariga and
his gangs. It's not Ayariga. You see, when you say that, then it means you are trying to tell me that I'm not capable of making my own analysis or thinking about the issue. I am not saying that because of Ayariga. I am saying that because I want the image of Parliament to be cleaned. So if someone is falsely accusing Parliament, I want Parliament to do something to prove to me that, listen, what this gentleman is saying is not true.
What do you think?
But if you come out and say, oh, I've asked you to apologize.
What do you think the punishment would have been if an alternative body had investigated?
what the punishment would have been.
Yeah. If an alternative, a different.
When Muntie 3 were found to be contempt of the Supreme Court, what happened to them? The Supreme Court themselves, they called the people there, investigated the matter, they went to jail. When the
but
wait,
Muntie 3 were not part of the.
You listen to me. When Anas found some of the judges corrupt, what happened to them? All the 11 judges were what? Dismissed. There are no more judges. They can't even practice. There will be their legal, what do you call it, law license will be withdrawn. Okay, and some of them are even facing prosecution as I speak. So they are doing that. They've cleaned the image of the judiciary. At least we know. Why can't they?
You still haven't answered my question. What do you think the alternative punishment would have been if another body investigated?
Another body investigated.
Yeah, like
they would have recommended for prosecutions. They could have recommended that.
Or suspension.
We don't know. Or suspension. They could have recommended that. I mean, it depends on the powers that will be given to that body. Now, this body, look, the man says he is guilty of contempt. Now, how can someone be guilty of contempt and then you turn around and say that apologize just because it's the first time offense? So someone kills somebody and you say, although I'm not equating killing to what he did, and you say, oh, it's a first time offense, so we are not going to punish you. Yes, you punish him. Maybe you are not going to give him murder. You can give him manslaughter. But at least he goes to jail.
And this is a situation that
okay.
Parliament has to be.
So this is something that I still can't work my head around.
This is exactly why I said Ayari guy and his gangs want us to think in a certain way that we are doing now.
No. This has nothing to do with Ayari.
Let me explain. Maybe you
can't understand me. Explain your point.
You see, here we are, right from the onset. Most of right-thinking people knew straight away that Ayariga was lying. He was not providing any shred of evidence. He was just tarnishing.
You see, it is not for Ayariga. When you say we knew that Ayariga was lying, there are others.
I didn't say we. I said most.
Most people. Some people too would think that Ayariga is true. Was not lying, because in the past there has been allegations of bribery and corruption in Parliament, money changing hands. So for that reason, it means that we need to put all these allegations to bed. And this is an opportunity.
I don't get your logic. Because
PC Agyepong came out to say that MPs were taking 5,000. Nothing happened about that.
When PC Agyepong appeared before the committee, did he provide any proof? What I don't understand is, you see, we generalize certain things just because something's happened in the past. We are dealing with a specific.
So if the guy didn't provide a proof, what did they do to PC Agyepong?
We are dealing with a specific incident here. I'm not talking about what happened in the past. I'm talking about what we are dealing with now. Where was the proof that Agyepong offered bribe? That's all.
We accept that, and I'm saying that the guy who made that spurious allegation, that false allegation that Agyepong provided bribe, when actually Agyepong never did anything like that, that guy should not go scot-free with a slap on the wrist.
I totally agree with you.
So if you don't do that, then I can't think far any other way to justify why you didn't do that. It's very difficult for me. That's my point.
I was very disappointed. Yeah.
So if you are disappointed, then let us know you're disappointed. But don't say that, oh, I'm disappointed, but I don't believe Ayariga.
No. You see, I'm not going to, just because I'm disappointed with the outcome or the punishment given to him, doesn't mean that I'm going to start trying to believe what Ayariga said or
I am not saying
that people want.
No. You see, you are misinterpreting everything. Ayariga hasn't said that.
So your issue is with the investigation. Is that it? Because the Parliament investigated themselves and then the recommendation and everything.
You see, it doesn't give. So right now, if you tell me that Parliament is a clean body, I'll say no.
Okay.
I will say no. Why?
Why?
Because they had an opportunity to demonstrate to me that they are. It's either two ways. Either Ayariga is lying or he's speaking the truth.
Okay.
Now, if Ayariga was, let's say, on the other hand, if it had come out that actually Agyepong paid a bribe. Look at it. Wait a minute. What do you think you would have expected to happen?
The question that you said. You said if it turned out that Agyepong actually offered a bribe.
Yes.
And Joe said we should
paid all
like
that.
A conduit
And
all that.
What do you think should have happened?
No. forget about that question now. I'm just gonna ask you another question.
Hold on, Richard.
Do you think?
Hold on, Richard.
Yeah, that question that you asked me. Yeah, do you think Parliament would have redeemed their reputation? That so-called reputation that you're talking about. Either way, wherever the case went.
No, my brother. You see, the exercise we are carrying out here, what we are doing here on CrossFire, is try to get things right for ourselves as a people. Okay, so if something is wrong, we need to figure out what is wrong and then put in corrective measures so that we don't go back to that mistake again. We all know, you accept from that Parliament, there's been reputation smear on Parliament from day one, not even with Ayaraga in the past. Now Ayaraga comes a whole MP, and this is not the first time an MP has made allegation against Parliament, and this is going on. Parliament gets the opportunity to clear that whole thing once and for all, put it to bed, and then go around just the whole investigation, and then only to learn that
can I come in here,
forgive the guy.
Can I come in here, please?
Yes.
As you just said that let's postulate that Wachejaku paid this money as alleged.
Yes.
And then Parliament had found out or had come out with the truth, with all the evidence saying that he paid this bribe. Would the Parliament have come out with a reason saying a solution saying that this is the first time that Wachejaku had paid something like that, so let us give him as a warning?
That would even worsen the matter.
Did you get that?
They wouldn't have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We would have expected Parliament to either to sack him or even to prosecute him. We would have expected something like that.
Wachejaku will have to resign. The president will have to withdraw him.
That's right. We would have expected some such of severe punishment. So if
someone is lying, why should that person go scot-free?
This is it.
Mike, you see, in a normal world, all things being equal, in a world that we understand, the world that we live in now. You see, a world that we live in.
You are retreating to your own shelf now.
That's what I'm saying. No.
Don't retreat to.
No,
don't
Mike, you get the point. In a world that we live in, when I say that, I'm talking about
the Ghanaian world.
No, Ghanaian one,
Ghanaian
the Western world that we live in.
Okay.
The way we understand how democracy and everything works. And a big if, these guys after the findings, if they wanted to suspend or expel Ayaraga from Parliament, they needed 2/3.
No. Don't confuse issues here. There is one thing. There's a clear difference between suspension and expelling. Suspension, they don't need. You said if they wanted to expel or suspend, you use suspend.
Okay,
that's why. If they want to expel, I'm not talking about expelling the expulsion.
If they wanted to expel him, they will need 2/3. And regardless of whether or not Ayaraga was wrong, he will still have the backing of his.
No, you see, that is not my concern. That punishment would have been meted out to him. Parliament would have.
I'm sure he was even expecting that. You be suspended.
As I speak to you now, you know that some judges, 3 of them or so, are still taking the Chief Justice to court because they disagree with what the Chief Justice is doing. But at the end of the day, I've already alluded to the fact that I believe what the Chief Justice has done was right. She has cleared at least the image of the judiciary. She's restored their image in a way because she set up an investigatory committee. They came out with their findings, recommended they should be sacked, and they were sacked even without their emoluments, which is a good thing. Steve, are you there? Hello, Steve.
Steve is going to sleep.
Steve,
he's still online.
Okay, when you are ready, come back. Should we move on? You make your point so that we move on.
This is the thing. Me, I am very disappointed because I was expecting, a severe punishment meted out to.
Then if you are disappointed, then follow the logical conclusion, please, my brother.
But I will not follow the way that everybody. Josephine.
All right, Josephine in Cancer Word.
Hi, Josephine. How are you doing? It's been a while, Joe.
And Hannah Nyama as well.
And Hannah Nyama also, good evening and thank you for watching.
Mike.
Yeah.
My problem, in as much as I have an issue with the prescribed punishment for him.
Steve is calling back again here.
Okay. Oh, I think he went off.
Yeah. Yeah, Steve.
Oh, yes.
Hello, Steve.
No, I know. Hold on. I think the volume is.
Steve.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
hear
we
you
can
now.
hear you now. Okay, good.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
see,
good.
I want us to move on. Let's move on to
quickly.
next
Yeah, in as
other
much
matters.
in
Yeah.
as much as I'm disappointed with the outcome
Mm.
or the punishment meted out to him, I still believe the speaker, had the right to issue or give out that punishment that the speaker did. But to me, I would have wanted a clear message sent out there. So any scandal like that, no one would just sit down and try to cook up a scandal and
So now the precedent is that tomorrow someone can sit back and say Parliament is corrupt. They take bribes, and all they know is that they are going to get. They will be asked to forgive.
any discerning person knows that Ayariga is a liar.
Oh,
That's not gonna.
no, you see, that is not the point. And my point is not whether Ayariga is a liar or not. My point is that we don't want our MPs or anyone getting up smearing Parliament with false accusations. That is my point. There must be consequences. Those consequences.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
You see, the way you are going on with this argument, I find it a bit uncomfortable because as you are talking now, you are a gentleman. You can be on the street and maybe you just say that you tried to touch her or you tried to harass her. And the fact that should we just believe that the fact that you are a gentleman you can't do, or it's possible that you do that, and she has said that you have done it, she needs to prove it.
Yes.
It's possible that maybe you just went close to her, but you didn't even touch her.
Yes.
She is saying that. Does it mean that we should accept that because she's a lady, and it's possible that a gentleman will harass her, and you are just the one that you are around, so we should accept it because she has said it? No.
Okay.
Some of these things we need to be very careful when people start labeling people. Because I know that for whatever reason that he has, she just say somebody is bribing her. Sorry. Say somebody is corrupt in the parliament. She just say that because Ayanda sits in the parliament and we are ready. That's it.
No, but I think we've moved beyond that level.
It's possible that we are saying that we go beyond that level. That is the angle. You see that people just label the parliament as corrupt. And the mere fact that they said that we should just follow it. Somebody said, an MP has taken my money, whether it's true or not. Because the president has said that an MP has taken my money, it is without any evidence.
No, you see, okay. It is. You see, the issue is that Steve. You see, that is why we have the court system. That is why we have the law enforcement system. If someone scandalizes you in the wrong way, you have the right to seek redress. That redress includes. Hold on.
I made that statement, and then he was asked to prove it, and up to date.
I'm not concerned about Ayariga. My concern is that if Ayariga was not able to prove it, it means Ayariga was lying. Should Ayariga get away with that punishment? That is the point I'm making here.
No, you see, the issue with the punishment does not negate the fact that Ayariga was lying.
Yeah.
I don't think that the way he has been punished negates the
You see, this fits into a very bigger picture. Steve.
Is at least we know that somebody was trying to do it.
Steve.
To lie.
Steve.
And that is it. The issue with the punishment is another matter altogether.
Steve. There appears to be a problem with us Ghanaians, okay, and especially our authorities in enforcing the law, okay, and this fits into our next issue that I want us to discuss: the Delta Force and the vigilante groups matters arising. This issue of punishment. What punishment is acceptable enough is enough to say that what you've done today, it will serve as a deterrent for people to know that it is not acceptable for you to do that. It's not right for you to do that. We abhor these practices or this behavior. Don't do that. Now, if you tell me an MP with his position, his privilege, what he has, currently some 40 MPs are taking the government to court to claim some what they call ex gratia or pension. Okay, they have a unique position. So whatever statement that they make in the Western world, an MP or a minister will make one statement and he has to resign. Now, we are not in the Western world.
You see,
But
one thing
let me...
one thing that you
Uh-huh.
also forgetting is
Uh-huh.
a precedent. There is a precedent. You mentioned it earlier about PC appear for you.
Mm-hmm.
When he made the allegation about Parliament, the corruption and all that, and
Yeah.
he was not able to prove it. There wasn't even an investigation, yeah, like the way we saw it. They did their own investigation, but it wasn't open to the public.
But that it
Once
was
again,
wrong.
It was not open to the public then. Yeah. There wasn't, as far as we're concerned, he wasn't suspended, nothing happened to
And
him.
that wasn't right either.
Yeah, but that's the point I'm making. So there was a precedent, and they are saying that in their wisdom, Ayariga is in as much as I disagree with the punishment meted out to him. Ayariga is the first offender, so this is what we feel fit. It does not negate, like Steve said, it doesn't negate what the crime or what he tried to scandalize Parliament with. It does not. Any descendant person knows that Ayariga was being mischievous and wasn't telling the truth. Just because he wasn't giving the punishment that we wanted does not mean the Parliament is corrupt. Just because the punishment wasn't given to him doesn't mean Parliament is corrupt.
Hello?
Shall we?
Okay. Yes, Steve.
Yeah, I want to come in. You see, in all these things that we are talking about, if you go into the Parliament, there are rules and regulations that they work with government. The punishment to give to anybody who goes against the rules in the House are all stipulated. They have all of them in their books. So when these things are there, fine, for us, we have wished, as I said earlier on, I would have wished that at least he should have been suspended for a month. For it to serve as a deterrent to he himself and the other guys who think that they can just talk anyhow and do whatever they want because they feel they are too young and they are in Parliament so they can do whatever. But the fact is, if this punishment, any of the punishments is stipulated there, the Speaker has the discretion to give it as and when it happens. Fine. For now, at least, one thing I'm very happy is that the investigation has been able to help us to establish the fact that somebody was just lying.
Can we also say that? Can we also say that maybe this will be if I would finalize this topic here? Can we also say that because no punishment commensurate with the crime committed, we should take it that yes, he's been punished, irrespective of the severity of the punishment. We should take it as it's normal.
For me, it's like sometimes there are certain things that when even nobody punishes you for it, the mere fact that you have been named or you have been labeled to have been a liar alone in itself is something else. Sometimes you are in a class and somebody is just misbehaving and the teacher just brings the person out and let's say just stand here, stand in front of the class. Nobody will beat you. As you stand there, you see that you find yourself to be the odd one out among the many.
You see,
it's a dent on his integrity.
I am trying very, 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 very hard to understand your positions. In terms of accepting what they did, the Parliament, there's this so-called apology that Ayariga gave. Okay, that is enough punishment, and for that reason, the matter should lie. Now, I hold the level of the standard that I'm holding these guys, parliamentarians, is so high that which we would think that a mere statement that they've made about someone lying, because that mere statement to me, I don't consider it is tantamount to even killing someone. Their actions, because of the position they hold. And when I bring it down to say someone like Muntie Tre, and Muntie Tre was put in jail, they also spoke. They sat in a radio station and spoke.
They threatened.
And they threatened.
Yeah.
Ayariga denigrated the whole institution, which he is part of, and other people, a whole minister, to the whole world as well. And he just gets away with just an apology, even a lame duck one for that matter, the first one that he gave, and then later on, he wrote an apology to the Speaker.
And Parliament is the supreme body of the.
Parliament is the supreme body making the laws.
Yeah.
So that is why I'm looking at it, the severity of what he did.
Yeah.
And then the opposite Had it turned out that what he was saying, the allegations he was making, was true, then what were we going to expect to be happening to Wache Jako, Dosu, and the rest? But let's move on. I mean, we can agree to disagree on this one. Let's move on. Yes, sir.
I just want to just chip in something with regards to what you just said.
Yeah.
Right now, we are talking about what happened. We are not looking at the opposite of it. Because if the opposite had happened, the discussion would have been totally different. Let's look at...
My good friend, you see, that is why we call something analysis, critical analysis.
It's true. That is what we have analysis. But
yes.
If we decide to talk about the opposite, it's just going to be purely assumptions and we will never finish.
No. Yes, I understand that, but you see, we cannot fully analyze the whole issue without looking at the other side of it. You can't just get up and say that, okay, Ayarga has done this, so this is it. What about the other side of it? If it turns out that it was true, I think it's only fair that we look at that in terms of, if you are saying that this is what happened, if really Ayarga was true, would you also say that, oh, then Wache Jako? Because someone can logically conclude that, well, if Ayarga has been forgiven, then if it turns out that Wache Jako actually gave a bribe, which we know he didn't,
the president
then
had an assumption on that, because that wasn't the case, and it's not the case. That's what I mean. I'm saying that right now, what we have on our table is what has happened with respect to Ayarga being a liar. That's it. Whatever we are going to...
So is it okay to lie and then walk free?
It didn't happen. We don't have any proof to do that. That's what I'm saying. If you try to go along that tangent, we'll never finish. But it's going to be purely assumptions, and no assumption is true.
All right, let's move on. Listeners, so you are still tuned in to CrossFire on Africanna Radio. We are broadcasting to you live from Bedford, United Kingdom. You can join in and make your contributions. The phone lines are still opened. We have 01223 926 804. We also have a WhatsApp number, a mobile number which you can phone wherever you are in the world. Is 07473 865 402. 07473 865 402. Yes, we need to move on from this Ayarga matter. It is just a moral exercise we are trying to establish here. So Delta Force and vigilante groups, they've been given, they call it, I don't know why these lawyers like using this 12 penalty, 200 penalty. Just tell us that they've been fined 240,000 or 2,400. What is this penalty points?
Is the terminology?
What terminology? What terminology? English language?
What has been described in the law. Those that know in the law court, that's why you understand it. Those who understand it know.
But no, you just tell us out there. He's been fined 2,400 cities. Don't tell us
that is
200 penalty.
That is what you have wanted them to tell you, but they choose to use their own terminology.
No, not the judge. I'm not talking about the judge. I'm talking about the reporters.
Okay.
The reporters.
Yeah, but they go on to explain. They don't just say whatever kind of point. They use the technical point and then they interpret.
My brother, when the news first broke, there was no interpretation. All they said is that 200 points. Yes. When it first broke, there was no interpretation. You know.
There wasn't any interpretation. However, you as a person, as a journalist, you want to find out what does that mean.
My brother, I know that I am helping my listeners here. It's not that I don't know. Okay? A penalty point is 12, cities. So I know that. Yeah. But the point I'm trying to say is that they should next time, they should just tell us that the guys were fined 2,400. The journalists, when you are reporting it. Let's move on.
It's a matter of 12 times 2,000, 200 that you're talking about.
So go and talk to them.
My people, John Mensah,
okay. Mr. Ebuampa also following us, John Mensah and
John Mensah Sapon.
John Mensah Sapon. Yeah. Good evening, sir. All right. Yes. They've been fined 2,400 cedis.
Right.
And they've also been bonded. They have to be of good behavior for the next 6 months.
Well, we see that it has come to exactly what I was
This
saying
is
with you from
this
the
is at
onset.
least something that
Yeah,
I can see that there is a clear punishment here.
yeah.
Ayariga was not bonded, was he?
I think he was.
No, tell me, was Ayariga bonded?
We moved on from the Ayaga.
This is another punishment here.
We moved on.
Ayariga was not bonded. But these guys have been bonded. God forbid if they go around messing around again and they are caught. My brother, they will go to jail for 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
So I am happy with that.
Nice.
There is some form of punishment here.
Nice.
Good. Go ahead, Steve.
If you follow court proceedings a lot, and especially if you follow people who have been involved in fighting, more often than not, people who fight or who attack people physically, they are normally bonded. A lot of people are normally bonded because of that physical harm or the ability to fight somebody else. You can just put you on bond that we want you to sign a bond that for the next 12 months or the next 6 months. You'll be of good behavior. You are not going to attack anybody. So that is the reason behind for these Delta Force guys being bonded, because they just go in and attack.
You see,
they didn't Steve, hold on. They didn't go in to attack anybody.
Let me tell you, Steve. Let me come in here. What you are saying is true, but it is true to only the Ghanaian jurisdiction, not in the Western world, not in this country. In this country, I have seen people who have not attacked anyone, but by their conduct, okay, by their behavior, they have been banned from holding certain offices. They have been placed on the sex offenders register. They have been banned from moving around a certain area.
Mike, you just answered you. Come on.
So when you say that, so are you saying that we should just go by that? Then why are we practicing democracy then? Why can't we do the right thing? The court system we have in Ghana, is it not the same court system we have here?
Mr. Mensah is asking me how am I? Johnny, I'm very well.
The kind of judgment or the punishment that the judge awarded today is outside what he should have done.
Did you say it's outside what he should have done?
Yes, what you have given to them. Awarding those penalty units and then also bonding them. Is it outside what he should have done?
No,
it's not.
It's not.
Yeah, so if it's no, listen, Mike. There are certain things that is not just limited to Ghana. If you go throughout the world, the practicing democracy, you see that some of these things is what we have in those countries. So
and that is what I'm saying, that in this country, look, this guy, Freddy, the RBS, that RBS, former chairman of RBS, what's his name? Fred, he's called Fred something. He was stripped of his knighthood. He's a disgraced man. Okay, there are so many people who did not punch anyone. They didn't attack anyone.
I don't have a problem with that.
Good.
The point is this. What is the issue at stake?
Yeah.
The issue at stake is that some people have attacked somebody and then they have been bonded. I'm saying that most of the time, because somebody is fighting someone, that's why they put a bond on them. It's a different issue altogether, and I'm saying something else. Then you could have argued on that angle. But here, so if somebody is in the banking sector and then he has always caused certain problems and they are bonded, it's a different thing. If that same thing happens in Ghana, it's possible that the person who might be stripped off from doing any work relating to banking. So we haven't had that situation there. So you can't just juxtapose these things and try to make an argument of it.
Oh,
Mike. I mean,
who has done a banking job and he's not been bonded and here he has been bonded. No. The two situations are not the same. That's what I mean.
Mike, we have. I believe we've dealt with this for. We've spent a good 10 minutes on this. Bonding.
So we move on.
No. We are not moving on.
Go on, make your point.
I know a lot of things today. Stephen and I were having an argument. We're having a debate. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
And we still have not decided who is wrong or right. And this part of the argument hasn't really been debated. I know everybody's blaming what they did and so on. Everybody's talking about what they did. The argument that we were having was,
about when Delta Force people.
Delta Force, when they first went to court, for the bail,
Mm-hmm.
and then the judge refused them the bail.
Yeah.
Before all this pandemonium, and then the escape, and then the aftermath and all that.
Yeah.
I'm just for the sake of this argument limiting us to just not the aftermath of what happened after the pandemonium and then the subsequent escape and all that. Just a judgment in court. I still find it very difficult. I was telling Steve, I don't understand why they went to court. They went to court. They were not in the police cell.
Yeah.
They went there on their own accord. They pleaded. They asked for bail. Their lawyer, through their lawyer, asked for bail.
Yeah.
The prosecutor agreed that they should be given a bail. Bail until 2 weeks time when they come to court for the substantive case, where judgment or whatever, and then they can face their crime. But then the judge decides upon the defense attorney and then the prosecutor agreeing that it was okay for these people to be granted bail.
Yeah.
The judge decides no, I'm not going to give them bail. Puts them in jail.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
So, what should have been the logical?
I don't
step
know.
next?
This is where Steve and I were having the argument.
So the logical next step. Well, Steve, let me answer him. I think maybe I will speak for you, but don't repeat yourself. The logical step here was that the lawyers, that's why they had lawyers. The lawyers should have gone back to the court or a higher court to challenge the bail and say that.
Which they have.
No. They didn't do that. Wait.
They
didn't do that.
They did. Let me finish.
For the first time, they didn't do that.
When they went there the first time and they were not granted that bail, that's when they rooted out.
That's what comment.
Yeah, but you're talking about the lawyer. We all know what happened when they refused the bail. There was a pandemonium, and then the whole thing changed.
So that is exactly what I mean.
The lawyers have gone to.
So whose fault is it? Now who caused them?
Now who caused them?
It is the boys. It's not the judge.
No. What I don't understand. And this is
what is your problem then?
My problem is.
Yes.
Let me say something, Richard. You have made a point. Let me say something. You see, all that Richard is trying to do is to label or put the blame at the doorsteps of the judge.
No, that's not what I'm doing. Steve, don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm doing. No.
Richard, that's what you have.
No.
So what is your point then?
I do not understand why.
Nikki has told you a very simple thing. You apply for bail. Prosecutor agreed that the prosecutor is applying for the same bail. But the final decision will rest with the judge. Yeah. That's it. If the judge says yes. If you think the judge says no and you think it's an error of law,
this is what they use the discretionary powers.
You can challenge it.
My brother, it's not even discretionary powers. You see, it could happen that the prosecutor and the defense have colluded to dupe the states. The judge, their number one interest is to protect the states. That is what they do, the states and the law. So they look at the law. If there is no law supporting that, they have to look at the best interest of the nation. Okay, the best interest of the nation. So if the judge says, I'm denying you bail, go back to remand, and stay there for 2 weeks, and you are not happy with it. You go to your remand and then tell your lawyers that, lawyer, I don't agree. So your lawyers will now go to what? The High Court.
Another court.
When KKD was accused of raping this girl,
that girl,
and they denied KKD bail at the circuit court, his lawyers, Nana Santibedi and Co., took the matter to the High Court, Human Rights Court, and they secured bail for him. Afoko, that's not the chairman, but his brother. When he is alleged to have murdered Adam.
What are you guys talking?
No, tell me, what's your point?
What I don't understand,
tell us what you don't understand.
What particular occasion? On this particular occasion, and you guys support.
Adelaide Adair, thank you for following us on Facebook. Good evening. Listeners, you can send your comments on Facebook. We are here. If you want to join us, give us a call on 07473 865 07473 865 This is CrossFire on Africanna Radio, broadcasting live from Bedford, UK. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The problem I have is the discretion that we are abuse of the discretion that you're talking about. So if we
By
have,
who? By the judge?
Yeah.
Okay, go
a
ahead.
judge
Or
can
a magistrate.
abuse, a magistrate, whoever it is, can abuse
Yeah,
the discretion
that's
they
correct.
have.
There's nothing.
Exactly.
I don't dispute that.
So if we live in a country where we have laws which clearly state bailable offense and unbailable offense,
Yeah.
which is there in the constitution and our laws, and we all know it. So that if you fall foul of these laws, you go to court, the judge can straight away say that, you know what, I'm not granting you bail.
Yeah.
Because of such and so reason.
Yeah.
This one is just a common assault. Yeah, it's an assault, whether we like it or not. It's an assault. Like any other person, me assaulting you, then we go to court. I do not pose any flight risk. I haven't demonstrated anything to say that I'm going to run away.
Cut all that.
No. Let him land. Let him land. Let him land. I know who he's right.
I haven't committed any crime to
Yes.
make you think that I am a risk, a flight risk, and then I'm not going to come back on if you adjourn the case. My lawyer files a motion to have me granted bail and so on. The prosecutor or the other side, or the lawyers from the other side, see nothing wrong with it. Yeah, so they did not oppose it.
Yeah.
You understand? If they had opposed it, and then the judge has to weigh whoever to believe, and then that is fine. And then the judge can say, you know what, based on what the prosecution are saying, I don't think it would be better for you guys to be proper, for you guys to be granted a bail.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't have any problem with
Yes.
that. But a situation whereby these guys have complied.
Yes.
They haven't done anything to suggest that if granted a bail, they'll pose any
they even went to court by themselves.
Went to court by themselves. They haven't done anything
so
to say
from that point,
they have been of good behavior.
That's right.
Up to
So
that point.
they needn't have been remanded. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I get you. I get his point. I get his point.
And I'm saying that that is
it was needless for the judge to put this remand on.
Granted, the judge erred in law or in her judgment, whatever the case is, the judge was wrong. Yes. It still does not give those gentlemen the right.
I totally agree with you.
No, wait a minute. So
my argument is not on what the gentleman. I totally agree. I believe that what they did, it was totally wrong of them to take the laws into their hands.
You have to understand.
I totally agree with you
if
on that.
That is the case,
then this is the reason why I said let's restrict ourselves to the point where they went to the court, not aftermath of what happened.
Okay.
This is why I
accept that. I accept that the judge could have been wrong, but remember, that person called the judge sitting in that chair at that particular moment is like the Almighty God. Okay, today in the UK, a judge decided that a child should be allowed to die. He determined the child's fate. Whether that decision is right or wrong, at that particular moment, that judge has taken that decision. If you have a problem with it,
go to higher court.
They have been given that authority to act that way. They can make mistakes because they are human beings. Now, if it turns out that she has made a mistake, then it's up to the General Legal Counsel or the judiciary, the Chief Justice, to deal with that. Or if you have evidence that she actually did her judgment wrongly, then you can appeal to the High Court authorities and then deal with the matter. But as far as she is concerned, she has every right to do whatever she did. And she was okay in doing that at that particular point. My brother, when you go to the job, Steve, wait, let me quickly give you one moment. You will come in a minute.
Can I come in?
Just I say, give me a minute. Let me finish. Wait. You see that animal called contempt. Those days when there was that contempt, and not even though I'm talking about criminal libel, I'm missing it up. That contempt law that the courts have. If you go to court and you start getting up thinking that you are the smart chap, your case is strong, so the judge must rule in your favor, and you start becoming I don't know how to put it, but if the judge doesn't like your attitude, if they want to put you under contempt, they can charge you under contempt, and then they will take you away. You won't even get a chance to go back home. They have that power to jail you straight away on contempt of court. So, my brother, you just have to agree with that. Steve, go ahead.
The point is, Richard, the fact that your defense lawyer has applied for bail for you, or requesting for a bail for you, and the prosecutor also seconding that motion, does not compel the judge to do what both of you want to do. That is one thing we have to get it. Because in as much as you are all making your arguments, the judge is also sitting there, also listening to the argument, and also making meaning of what you are saying.
You see, what Richard was trying to say was, these people pose no threat to the society.
So in whose eyes?
In the eyes of
who?
In the
society.
Yes.
But what has happened earlier on, the judge also wants to also look at the law before her, and then do whatever she has to do in the interest of the nation.
Good.
But she's not doing anything for her own selfish interest, because she has the security, they will protect her. Sometimes if there's any problem happening within the community, by the time you realize the judge is not at home, the security will come and take her, then the local people will kill themselves.
You say that in the eyes of who?
Yeah,
in the eyes of those people themselves, because
those people.
Yeah, because they handed themselves in. If they pose any threat,
are they the ones sitting on their case, or they are before a judge? In your eyes, you don't pose a threat.
No, because if they pose any threat,
I answer you back. What's happening? So who called judge anymore? Steve, just to add to what you're saying, what you're saying is entirely true. But when you appear before a judge, your life is like an egg in the hands of the judge. Okay? Irrespective of how strong your cases, your arguments are, you can't just go there and think that, oh, because I have surrendered, because I have admitted to all this, I've shown remorse, and things like I've pleaded guilty. They call those things what? Mitigating what? Circumstances or factors that she would take into account. But she's not bound by law to say that I have to take that, or I don't have to take that. All right, folks, quickly on this one. How's so far the handle of that? I know these guys have been sentenced. Are we satisfied so far? Do you think this will go a long way
not
to?
Been sentenced.
They've been released.
They have not been sentenced.
Been fined.
They've been handed down with 12 parenting units.
Yeah, that's a sentence.
Before they go to jail.
If they don't pay, they go to jail.
Yeah. So I thought you were talking about prison. All right.
Yeah, sentence is not just prison. So if would this go along? Would you think this can resolve this vigilante matter? Because the Bolga Bulldogs are also making noise. The voter
I think it will serve as a deterrent. You know,
is the IGP up and doing now? Because people are calling for the resignation of the IGP, the Minister for National Security, Kandapati.
All those that are doing politics will call for the heads of these people.
If you go into those who are calling for the resignation of those who are in the opposition, and that's no news.
Oh, it's not just the opposition, my brother.
It's who and who is it?
Some members of the MPP are also calling for the resignation.
Members of the MPP can join the opposition to do that way, but the point is, what has the IGP done in regards to Delta Force attacking somebody or not doing something? If the police have come out with the court asked them that they made a mistake with the security lapses, fine. If they accept responsibility, whatever needs to be done in that line of action should be done. I don't think the National Security Minister and then the IGP needs to resign because of this. Or that they need to just strengthen or maybe beef up security at the various places so that things will be back. To me, this punishment that they are giving them, if the people were made to pay the money themselves, that one would have served a deterrent.
Where are they going to get their money from? These guys are asking for jobs.
The big men are going to pay it for them.
Look,
that's all. So
it is clear that it's not them who are going to pay for this money that they've been fined. So it is clear that these people, these corporates, are not the ones who are going to pay for this money by themselves. But the fact that at least
because it's going to be paid by the big men who are behind them,
Yeah.
It wouldn't be as a deterrent as it is.
It wouldn't, yeah.
But
Yeah.
if they cannot afford it and they are even going to spend about a month or two in jail and come out, then you know that you can, once you don't agree with something, doesn't mean that because you are strong, you should go and beat somebody. You have to go through the law because we are all now going to go under the law.
Mr. Law.
No, but
the law, the punishment is good, but because they are not going to feel the pinch of it, it's not going to serve any deterrent to even they themselves.
So it is it's a mere slap in the eyes of the.
To me personally, I think a precedent has been set here. As a vigilante, or I wouldn't use them, a group affiliated with a government in power have been treated the way that they have. They've been put before court. The laws of the land, rule of law is at play here, and they have been brought to court and punished duly. So it means that anyone that is trying to do same in the future will think twice before doing it, because regardless of who they are, the laws are going to work.
Are you sure? Don't you even think that they will say that, oh, after if we do it, we will still get these politicians, to be our back to pay for the money, to pay for this money for us?
Trust me, no politician. Trust me, this.
Look, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. These monies that have been put, been charged, from this guy, these people here, it is the politicians who are going to pay this money.
Oh no, without a doubt.
That's what I'm saying. That
without a doubt.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That it still wouldn't really serve as it is serve as a deterrent in the eyes of the law, but in the eyes of these people who commit this,
but you see, there's one thing that we are forgetting. This punishment, that the 200 points that we are talking about, penalty point that we are talking about, all of these is in reference to the attempted escape. It's got nothing to do with the substantive case. The substantive case is coming up next week. For they could still go to jail. This one is in relation to them escaping from court last week. And that's what we are. So the other one has.
But the other thing too that we are also forgetting is that, which we mentioned earlier on, the bonding matter is very, very important. Let someone pay this money for them. Knowing the way some of these guys, by their nature, the way they do things, their character.
Yeah.
Someone can just strip one of them and he will end up slapping him, and that is
straight to jail.
You get it?
Yeah.
So that would mean that they would have broken that bond within 6 months, and they will go to jail.
Yeah.
To spend the whole 3 months, 3 years, or whatever it is. So I think this is a very serious punishment. Like I said, if I had this for Ayariga, I would have been very happy. Anyway,
I mean,
let's move on.
One thing is clear. Unlike what we used to, or what happened in the past, this new government seems to be, even though their handling was not all that. To me, it was a bit slow with the way they handle everything, and it has escalated into all this unnecessary tension.
It's all down to we not having this special prosecutor.
So,
once we see the special prosecutor, I tell you, Ghana will change. Just watch.
But the good thing is,
let's
the
move
law
on.
of the land is working and everything.
Great.
Is fine.
Okay, so that's a plus for the government. I see. NDC folks, are you out there? MPP is running away with all the points, Galamsey menace, what should be done? Galamsey. Last week, I was recommending that these guys should be taken and formed as task force. This, what's their name?
The Delta Force.
That Invisible Force. They are strong. Take them out there. I was watching a news profile from Ghana, and this forestry people going around the rivers, and they have to swim across the river. They don't know how to swim. Hey, Ghana, who? No swimming lesson, nothing. And these boys will just fall into the river. They are gone. And they have to rely on professional swimmers to carry some of them on their backs to cross the river to chase these galamseyers.
But
how are you gonna fight this?
With the galamsey, we've come a long way. The way in the last let's say in the Fourth Republic,
Mm.
it has become a menace to us, and our water bodies are destroyed. Growing up, you know, the thing.
It has taken
It's
too
so
long.
it's so
It has
appalling.
taken too long for this to come to the
Yeah,
limelight.
but I believe that with the media campaign, the campaign from all the other civil societies, the campaign, we this thing is going to be fought head on. And I've also heard
Yeah.
just now that Chief Justice has set up 14 courts to deal with this Galamsey menace.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's going to be a high court and a circuit court. So basically,
Especially for Galamsey
the, the minister has given a 3 weeks ultimatum,
Yeah.
which I think expires next week or so. So this one is in line with that. If your court, you
So
take it straight.
yeah, I understand the Chinese are also in their country saying, warning us, saying that we should stop arresting the Chinese people. So don't you think?
No,
it's
I
going
think
to,
I think it's
some of these things we shouldn't worry ahead about it, what the Chinese will do in their country.
Mm.
Because in Ghana we go out.
No, well, bear in mind,
country you want to stay with.
Steve, bear in mind, we have Ghanaians in China as well.
Yeah, they won't dare try to do Galamsey in China, will they?
Point is,
Are you telling me that if a Ghanaian commits a crime in China, they will get away with it?
They would, but we try not to, cause so much havoc over here that that they may not have done anything that would.
Go ahead, Steve.
Some of these, when we are discussing some of these, we shouldn't be afraid of what Ghanaians elsewhere will be doing, because when you go to Rome, you do what the Romans do.
Thank you.
If the laws are there. If we are in UK now, if we decide to disobey the laws, do you think they are going to say that because we have British people in Ghana, when they touch us, we are going to
Steve, let me remind Mr. D that there was a Ghanaian. Listen to this. There is a UK-born Ghanaian who committed a crime in the UK and ran to Ghana thinking that he's gone home so he can hide.
They brought him back.
He was fished out in Cape Coast and brought back here and tried, and he's in jail.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
You shouldn't be worrying ahead about what they are going to do to Ghanaians in China. If you are a Ghanaian in China and you don't obey their laws,
they will deal with you.
To deal with you. So if the Chinese are in Ghana, we should make sure that if they are doing anything nasty, we should put them to the law.
Well, on this occasion, I think I want to congratulate, commend the information minister, because he is someone that I've criticized fiercely before on Crossfire here, Mustafa Hamid. Yeah. Yeah. Comfort, thank you. Comfort says she sees me. I also see you. I also see you. Yeah. Richmond is also watching us. Richmond, good evening. Good evening, Comfort. How is my niece, Karen Hapok?
Mike, I believe this, like I said, this current fight against Galamsey is the most aggressive I've seen in a long while, if not.
Yeah,
and I believe that the way we are fighting it, the ministry, the government is committed, media is committed, all the civil society are committed.
If they had done this earlier on, I don't think this problem would have escalated as it is now.
Yeah. You see, the sad thing is that yesterday I was having a very interesting WhatsApp correspondence with my fellow brother somewhere, and I think maybe it was a misunderstanding from the way I saw it and from the way they were seeing it. Because there was the CPP. The CPP came out saying that...
PPP.
No, it was CPP.
Oh, CPP, okay.
Yeah. Saying that they are giving the government 3 months or so, otherwise they will take the president to international court.
PPP, not CPP.
Are you sure?
Yeah, PPP.
They will take the government to the international court of... ICC, International Criminal Court?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I couldn't get my head around that.
On what grounds?
That if he doesn't solve the Galamsey menace. And I asked myself, this thing has been going on. This government, how old is this government? 90 days, right? Fortunately, we have a new dispensation where now everyone can come out and express himself freely. Because the president himself said that we shouldn't just be spectators, we should be citizens. He wants everyone to help in the fight against all the vices that are, destroying our fabric of society as a nation. And then you come and threaten the president that you're taking him to ICC. On what grounds? I mean, it doesn't add up. Why didn't you do that when the other government was there? Didn't they realize that Galamsey was killing Ghana at those days?
Maybe because there's a new change, so he thinks that it's the right time for him to bring this sort of change.
No, come with your ideas and then how you can also support to, because the government is actually doing something about it. It's not like they are not doing anything.
Yeah,
they are doing something. But to come and say that if you don't do it in 3 months, we will take you to. They should set up a task force and go around and then start arresting people. I think the government will be happy with that. They should do that.
I mean, look,
That's my point. Those who go around blaming this current government as if they have done something, no.
Something seriously gonna be done to this issue, because I think it's a very disturbing issue that that is taking place in Ghana, and then the government should put his foot down to resolve this, because they are really destroying.
Yeah, hello?
Yes, sir, Steve.
Yeah, okay.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Great. So far, so good.
Yeah, Mickey, I want to say something about what the NDC people were saying about taking.
It's not the NDC.
No, it's not the NDC, PPP.
Yeah, that was
PPP. Is it PPP or CPP?
PPP.
Parkwest Jones Party.
Yeah.
Ah, dear me.
There are some of them, it's just about attention.
The attention seekers.
Waste your energy on it.
Akia Oporiwa, thank you for watching. Akia Oporiwa is watching us.
The passage is reading, this Galamsey was going on. Where were they? Was the International Court of Justice not there at the time? Why didn't they talk about it? Now that everybody is saying that it's not good, we are all going to fight it. Now that you want to go to international, they can take it to heaven.
All right. Now, there is a very interesting topic that I want us to touch on. I think we all agree that so far so good. The fight against Galamsey is just that, you see, Ghanaians must also set up. It doesn't add up that you know that this is the river or your main source of water. You destroy it. Before,
do you know that it has become it has also become a problem between Ivorians, Ivory Coast, and Ghana?
There's this thing about this guy I'm saying. Anytime that I see issues or maybe hear issues, see pictures about these polluted lands and degraded areas, I just see the whole thing as a people, as Ghanaians, we are not serious with our lives. That's all that I summarize it. Because let's look at it that the water body, you have laws in Ghana which regulate to what extent that even farming you can do along the river body.
My brother, you just leave the law aside. Someone must enforce it. But the people themselves.
Mike, is it no? We can't put the law aside entirely, because we need to sometimes try to see how best we have even tried to capture our laws to protect our environment. And then some of these laws are there, and then we have got environmental officers, we have got the EPA. We've got Minerals Commission, we've got all these bodies there. And then the local people themselves who are supposed to help themselves as far as the environment is concerned.
This is what I'm talking about. I'm concerned about the local people now. As for the law, we now have a president whose nickname is the law. So he has to enforce the law.
You see, the problem that didn't just start last 3 months. The problem has been going on for ages. And that is where we need to really look at. Because if we have a law, we say that for 50 meters along a river or a water body, you can't do any farming activity, you can't do anything. All these things are there. And now people have even jumped the 50 meters and doing the mining inside the water body. And then we are sitting there talking about Chinese. So did the Chinese just drop from heaven and just landed in the water to do mine?
All right.
The people we have to be blamed.
My brother, let's talk about cocoa. This week we had a news report that some investigative piece of journalism that this gentleman, what's his name, Captain Smart, did on Adom. So a video was going around. Fortunately enough, we on CrossFire, we had a copy of that video and we watched it. And it tells you the kind of people we are. He says we are animals. It's not far from. I can't say, but you see, the whole story is that for the benefit of our listeners who haven't possibly or perhaps heard of it, is about this cocoa, the source of our cocoa that we pride ourselves in as a nation. You know, cocoa is the #1 export in Ghana. As we speak, gold is next, followed by the traditional exports. And cocoa didn't just.
Now Galamsey has taken over.
Cocoa,
because cocoa farmers are just selling their lands for Galamsey. Carry on, brother.
Cocoa didn't just appear in Ghana. Someone patriotic enough managed to swallow the cocoa beans. That's the what we call the folklore behind
is that the actual?
Yeah.
Really?
He went to, is it Fernando Po, Brazil, found it there. He ate it. He said, this is nice. How is he going to carry this now? So he swallowed some, came back to Ghana, and then, like they swallow cocaine and then go to the abroad and then do their own thing. He did it.
Why would he do that?
Was
it an offense? No, was it an offense?
Possibly, you never know. It could be. It could also be that maybe he was just eating the raw cocoa beans
and he swallowed
it by mistake. And when he got back home, he went to toilet. Those days we go to toilet in the bush, don't we? And then the thing started germinating. Then here is the cocoa boy say, "Oh, this is the cocoa tree that I ate." And here we are. And this is what? Tetekwashi. And this man, I understand there's still 2 of the cocoa trees that he originally planted.
Yeah.
They're still there. And I'm like, wow, so cocoa can last that long? Well, this is long time ago. But when you go to the farm, because they've been replanting and so it goes on and on, and still 2 trees remaining. Now, there are 2 issues here. During President Kufuor's reign as president, he thought that, look, it would be nice to have a museum for Tetekwashi to showcase the history and the origins of cocoa, the product that which we pride ourselves in, that which brings the nation, that sustains the nation. Because when you mention Ghana, we are associated with cocoa. That's all we know. We produce the finest cocoa in the world. And the small edifice put up for this man's legacy, President Kufuor left power in 2008, and the thing was not completed till now.
No, it was completed, but it's integrating.
It's leaking. And those who are looking after the project goes to Cocoa Board for 4,000 cedis. That is 40 million cedis. Cocoa Board said they don't have it. And according to Mr. Smart, they are paying their chief executives 85,000 cedis. Members of board of directors, 30,000 bonus, Christmas bonus. You think about it, you're like,
taking 70,000.
my brother, 85, including bonuses.
Yeah, the net is 70,000.
Okay, so
a month.
Yeah,
a month. Not a year.
And they want just 4,000 to refurbish Tetekwashi's monument as a tourist attraction.
The chief was willing to even to provide
the cement, the wood.
The wood for them to.
Hey, hey, Daki. Point number 2. I understand there was a chocolate factory there too as well, and there was
a factory that had been built by Kufuor. It hadn't started.
But the plan was that
the machines, everything.
The idea, you see, in this world. Let me tell you something. In this world, something that most people don't know. You see the chicken that we eat out there, KFC chicken, and then you see the ordinary chickens in the various chicken shops. My brother, there is no difference. The only difference is that one has got a brand called KFC, and the other one is just chicken. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
So the same hot wings, you go to the ordinary shop, who tastes equally good, they will sell it for £1. But you go to KFC, a hot wing 2 is for what? £1, because it is KFC. That is all. It's the brand name they are selling.
Yeah.
So This Czech diplomat met President Kufuor and said, President Kufuor took him there to the Tetekwashi Museum and said, oh, why don't you build a chocolate factory here then? And then sell it to the world. That look, this is cocoa coming from the original man. KFC, his advert, he said this is from the original kernel. The recipe from the original kernel. The kernel, I don't know if the kernel is still alive, but they still produce recipe from the kernel himself. The kernel is not alive. They still produce recipe, chicken recipe for the kernel, saying that it is the kernel's recipe. So do the same thing, and people will buy it because they know it is coming from Tetekwashi's own cocoa pod. And then spread it across the whole of Africa. And they started doing this, citing offices in various African countries to market the project.
Estimated how many people that they
to employ.
About 10,000
the edifice
people.
Over the last 8 years is going bad. Ubibini. Then you get up and you say,
sad story.
The funny thing is, when it's getting to election time, then they try to equate or equalize what they are doing to the Western world. You see, over here, as we speak, these guys in Parliament, they don't. Steve, are you driving?
Yeah.
You driving?
Is it noisy?
Yeah, very noisy. Yeah,
let me mute it and then.
Okay.
You see, these people over here in their Parliament, they don't think about themselves. Whatever that they are doing, they think about their children, their grandchildren, those even who are not born. That's what they think about this. So the nation is built for
but
generations.
you see, we are already dying, my brother.
See?
Those of us who are living, we are gone.
Yes. But our people are not like that. I think you and me are. I tell you what, we are in the same boat. If we happen to be there, I bet you that we'll probably be doing exactly what they are doing.
Why?
Because it's black man's mind.
No. You see,
I beg to differ.
Oh, my brother, it is a black man's mind.
I'm
telling you.
I beg to differ. This is not a black.
Right now, I speak to you in Kufuor's government. I hear bribery and corruption taking place now, and Kufuor, our old man, speaks against corruption. And as I speak to you now, there's some rumors going on that monies are being distributed in among these NPP parliamentarians right now as I speak to you. Captain Smart brought this thing up yesterday.
The parliamentarians?
Yes, it doesn't come, and I'm sure he's getting the facts to bring all this. When I heard this, I started panicking. I said, really?
Money distributed by.
Well, he will bring it up. This is what he said yesterday. So you wait, I'm getting all the facts, I'm going to bring them out. Money exchanging hands in the current parliament.
This is why I told you about America.
My brother.
This is why I told you about America.
He said this yesterday.
You are equipping this.
We will go
I didn't want to say this because I know that if he gets
until he comes up with
black man's mind. Black man's mind.
He comes up with the evidence.
I rest my case on that until we get the facts out.
You see,
and my brother, this is what happens to black man's mind.
The truth of the matter is that, you see, we have to be bold. I don't care whether it is
Mike,
A or B, whether it is you. If you are wrong, I will tell you you are wrong.
Our problem.
That's the point.
Our problem.
We find it difficult to
We always talk about it, but we haven't been bold enough to do something about it. We have the problem.
Yeah, good.
The winner-take-all mentality that we have.
What winner-take-all mentality?
Winner-take-all mentality, the system that we have. So an NDC, a government, an MPP government has its own plans, put everything in place, and if unfortunately they lose, there isn't any continuity in terms of governance. So they come in, they have a different agenda, so they will not continue. So this problem that you brought about, this was started. The only reason why it wasn't continued and it wasn't looked after properly was because it was started by an opposition government.
It
wasn't so. It wasn't so.
What do you think? Because of that. What do you think will be the problem then? What is the problem?
I will tell you what the problem is. It's because someone is negligent, and why is Captain Smart going to Cocoa Board? Does Cocoa Board belong to the government?
Do you think that if Ghanaians care, I don't even think that it's only Cocoa Board. It should be the sole responsibility to make sure that this Edifice, is in good shape. I don't even think so. And any ordinary man, ordinary MP, because the money that they get, this DCs and all that, somebody 4,000 cities. Are you telling me that if Cocoa Board cannot even foot this bill, this 4,000 cities, nobody else can?
So that means that it is not the matter of continuity or winner take all. It is the way we do our things. This is a very simple issue here.
You see, ultimate responsibility is to do with the government in charge at the end of the day. You have a government that starts the project. If this government was still in power, somebody would have drawn the attention to it, and they would have done whatever they can to preserve their legacy.
If they would have done that, I'm sure they were informed. They were told that, look, the chief said that he's prepared to provide these woods, but the Cocoa Board should provide these 4,000 cities or whatever it is to do the work. And they said they don't have the money.
Yeah,
is it true they don't have the money?
No, not that.
You see, they don't see the essence of it. Because someone is not going to get some money somewhere. A project that, you see, Ghanaians, because of corruption, they want to go and do deals outside, like the Ameri deal, and then they will bring it in with foreigners. Because the foreigner, when you do the deal with the foreigner, it's very difficult the government going to attack the foreigner. Because it's you they will come after. But when they come after you, you've already done the deal with the foreigner. So the big amount is going to the foreigner. It's just like the Wyoming money. Look at the money that were paid to what's the water bill, and then the other group. The CP, there's a CP group too. Big money is paid to them. What Wyoming got was peanuts in terms of like what it was paid.
Okay.
Big money is gone to them. But because they are foreigners, we are not talking about that. So the new corrupt Ghanaian does not like dealing with internal matters. He wants a project that is so homogeneous, go round in circle, and then say, oh, we got a middleman here, we got this company here, and then they will come and sit down, cook something up, present it to Parliament, and then our Parliament will rubber stamp it. They will rubber stamp this Ameri investigation they are talking about. It went to Parliament. The MPs who are now in the majority, they were all in Parliament. Weren't they there?
Yes.
Weren't they there?
Yes. And what did they do?
They came out to talk about it, but did they come out with this proper? This is the problem I find very sad with our parliamentarians. They don't read, they don't write, they don't do any investigation. They just sit there, yeah, that's all. They don't do anything. Because if they really scrutinize the bills that come to them and go through it and investigate,
I think they read, but they don't pay attention to details.
So it doesn't mean you are reading.
They are reading. They're screaming through, but they don't pay attention to details.
Steve,
that's why they sign signatures without knowing what they are signing
if
for.
If you read something, you must tell me that you've read it. Are you there, Steve?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir. We are talking about Tetekwashi. Steve.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you back?
Yeah, but I heard him. Yeah.
I'm saying that Tetekwashi and his legacy.
Yeah, I was listening to you.
Yeah.
The whole thing is very sad.
It is dangerous. It is dangerous. We you see.
All the things that you were saying, I perfectly agree with you on the grounds of how our parliamentarians behave and how they always do things just in their selfish interest. Because
I understand that is
in honor of the question, and they have evident power. Whoever came after him, Makamel, Sendisi, whoever came, the resources of the state were there. Even if the NDP had not started, they could have also taken the initiative to start. Because it will be something that a legacy that they will hand over to your boy generation. All that we do is talk about the Kokashi that is what we control of and all of that. even the rate that was involved for him to afford the cocoa is another thing altogether. But here is the case that a museum or an edifice that we want to see well for in none of them. We say we don't have money.
My brother.
And it's so shocking that you see the chief executives and the board members of the Ghana Cocoa Board, the amount of money they are receiving or they are being paid for attending meetings like that. You ask yourself, you see, when during NTP time, they said we were producing 1 million tons of cocoa.
Yeah.
Now, when NDC came, we have scaled to about 700,000 tons. And the chief executive is taking 85,000 Ghana cedis. So are we paying him to just cause the reduction of the production or what? There are certain things that sometimes when you resist, and then when you just want to analyze the whole thing, you ask yourself, what is wrong with the black man? What is wrong with the Ghanaian?
Black man's mind.
You are not producing, and yes, you are taking money.
Yes.
You are not working, and
yes.
you are still being paid huge sums of money. You are provided with state cards and all those things, and you are happy. You call yourself. Let me mention this.
It's a disgrace. It's total disgrace.
He was the chief executive of the Cocoa Board, and our production has scaled from 1 million tons to 700,000 tons, and he was paid that huge amount of money. He was happy. He's an educated man. He knows books. He knows what he's supposed to do. And you are moving from 1 million to 700, and you are still taking 85,000. For what job are you doing?
So now you said something which is quite telling here. You said he's an educated man. He knows books. So when you tell me someone is educated, he knows books, and yet he's not able to apply that theory, that knowledge, so-called education that he has, into his daily management, his life, or the environment, the portfolio that he's holding, he's not reflecting. How do I conclude that
it cuts across every department, every area in Ghana. Our parliamentarians, are they all educated? But don't they go there and fabricate?
So that is why I don't believe in this education. People saying that, oh, he has this qualification, he should be doing that. I don't believe in that.
They're all educated
because we don't see the essence of the education over there.
I agree with you.
It's not wrong for someone to be educated, but the fact is, when you are educated, you're supposed to open your mind, broaden your horizon, and then you apply the knowledge that you have to improve the course of whatever you are doing.
So if you're not applying this knowledge, Steve, if you
don't apply that, then you are being dishonest.
But so far, Steve,
you are falling short of what you are supposed to be doing.
Would you agree with me, Steve, that about 70 to 80, possibly 90% of our educated elite in Ghana, and I've said this so many times here, that they have failed us. They are the cause of our problems. Look, we had a leader in Ghana called Rollins. Rollins never had the education that some of these people have. He was just an A-level leader.
I think so.
From there, he joined the army as a lieutenant or officer cadet with the Armed Force, Air Force, flying planes. Okay, he stages a coup. He becomes a head of state, leader of a revolution. He decides to form a government. He didn't take his fellow coup, makers or soldiers. He goes around, appoint PB Obeng, Kwesi Botwe, those Obedasamoa,
legal brains, and
all these Ato Ahoy, all these legal minds and everything. And for the next 20 years, they were ruling Ghana. So I ask myself, when you blame Rollins, I sit there and say, why are you blaming the man? You are the so-called educated.
The problem with us is, to some extent, I would say that to do certain things is not all about school. Because even our mothers and fathers who are been to school, who are selling things at KGC, Central Market, Makola, Bubuji, all those things, is to be able to make profit. It's not going anywhere. But they know that if they buy something for £1, they shouldn't sell it for 80p.
Correct.
Yeah, they know that one. So it's a common sense.
I mean,
but
just
with ours,
Steve,
without
let me just budge in here quickly. Look at this Ameri deal. You go sign this deal, $510 million. You are a minister. Someone, what's his name? Dr. Kwabena Donko. He's a doctor. Is he a PhD or is just an ordinary doctor?
A PhD.
A PhD doctor. Even an ordinary doctor is also PhD actually, because they spend 7 years to gain their medical degree. Okay? Dr. Kwabena Donko, a whole PhD holder. You sit there and you sign a deal for $510 million. Whether it is payable now or payable in 5 years' time, it is still payable. Another government comes to power and says that I have looked at this deal. I think the deal is just way too much. So these people should come and let's negotiate. And they have agreed to come and let's negotiate because we paid over the odds.
It's called protecting my interests.
And then you come and sit down and say, no, why are you doing that? It is the best deal assigned for you, so leave it. I can't.
You can't take back a people.
Yes, sir.
Last time I listened to an interview and he was saying that he left UK to come and help Ghana.
Who?
He was lecturing in Bristol University.
Who is that?
And as a of that, he decided not to hold any account here, and he doesn't hold any offshore account and all those things. This man, you are one of the most wicked people in Ghana. If you claim you have left here to come and help Ghana, and this is the help that you can yes. So how can you? You saying this, then I was surprised. You see, Mike, I want to make this statement. See, our people, with all the education, with all the books that we have, at the end of the day, we come back to home and then we see that most of the people at home are vulnerable. And then we begin to take undue advantage of them. That's all.
See, the point is that
that's all that we are doing. We are,
you see,
that's what it is.
you see, but this one's, you see, this man's case, the Konadoko's case is even worse. So, you see, it is. You have signed a deal. Who did now sign here? No, and the boy thing. What's an envy? Why you said the best deal when you know? Unia buy, Unia say, dear, dinner, my dear, one, she can't adopt your Koreanisika. Hey, you know, sign deal way. I didn't sign, you know, too much into Brabia negotiating. But it's so my and there would be that's what I said.
Mike, have you heard of causing financial loss to the state?
Yes, I've
the guy is protecting his interests. He knows.
What interest is he protecting?
Yeah, for not being labeled as causing financial loss to the state. Because if he is found guilty of doing that, he's gonna go to jail. He knows.
No. You see. I think you are missing my point here.
Mike,
Steve, yes.
Don't be surprised that if this issue goes to court for judgment, that Kwabena will go and testify against Ghana. You see.
Oh no! I mean,
let me tell you something.
Surprise at all.
Look. Yeah. What I'm saying is this: Kwabena Donko, if it goes to court, I'm telling you, my brother, the thing went to Parliament. Because it went to Parliament, the only way Ghana can come out of it is for Parliament to say that the agreement they had, the information they had and they signed was wrong. They have been duped. It's only Parliament who can do that changes. The government will not win it anywhere because the representatives of the government signed and Parliament agreed. It's an international contract. Parliament has approved it. That is the main criteria. That's the only thing that what this guy did, Martin Amidi used to win judgment for against Wyoming. So once Parliament has agreed, Parliament must undo what they did.
You see, Mike.
Okay. So from that, the court doesn't need to worry about judgment debt about this or causing financial loss.
I understand the point you're making, but the question, I mean, based on the point that you just made now, why would Ameri be interested in negotiating if they have a solid?
My brother, Ameri knows what to begin with. I will tell you why. Look, Ameri has already committed themselves into this deal. Let's say there was corruption, that's correct. there was some money exchanging hands here and there. They paid some money even to supposedly some ministers or whatever it is. That's correct. Fair enough. But the point is that they are still in this deal and they've started it. So they wouldn't want to be seen as losing out. At least they still have to get something out of it. So they are prepared to come and negotiate than rather protract the matter into the law courts or going to court here and there and all that. So I can understand America's position. But I can't understand Kwamna Donko. Onipa no contract no yet. Okutemu no. Ono say I am negotiating. O Kwamna Donko o ye Ghana ni. Una o say ma ye 80 cents kan cha akwa no. Brabe kan ye ho kura na ka say oh minua say wo ye de anya ye. Meboa in fact de no kura say ye me wo de sanete ye. Nti o mo so be negotiate. Anya Mr. Monye. Metamochi. Rather I see there be
when we were young.
Hey.
I knew
I'm
when we were young, I knew a certain guy who will go to school,
damn slave,
and collect textbooks of his friends, and bring it home and tell the mother that all these books they've asked us to buy. So, you see, that is us as Ghanaians. So if such a young boy can do this at the age of about 14, 15 to do this.
Yeah.
Ask yourself that when that child grows and he does not change their mind, and you put that person in
it's true.
place of authority.
That reminds me, you know those days when we were going to school, we make lists, shopping list, and then they will inflate it.
Yeah.
I need a Milo, I need this, I need that.
Even I understand somebody inflated geography, right? Geography, the person just separated the geography in three, the Joe and then the fee. And then the Joe, the father is also educated, so daddy, we say we should buy Joe and then the gra and then the fee and then the geography. So what
So you see, I think we need to examine our minds here.
I told you the black man's mind.
No, that's not black man's mind. That is a Ghanaian mind.
No. We have a problem.
It's the black man's mind.
We have a problem. I think we have a problem. Black people have a problem with our minds. Believe you me. But how to be able to depict the exact problem on our minds, I think I don't know how I will be able to do that. But we have a problem.
That's why we need our leaders should be coming people who have been trained in a different environment to come and rule us.
No, not really. All those people that you're talking about, they have their training.
You always say
they have their training here. They go back.
And you always rightly say that even here, if you allow that system to happen here, it can happen here. But it's because the system is working here. That's the difference.
So that's exactly why I'm saying that. If you are saying that it is black man's mind, it is us just yes.
Because
it's not about where they are coming from. It's about enforcement and punishing.
Absolutely, because we do not enforce the law. We do not enforce the law over there. We allow everybody to do whatever.
It will serve as an example for anybody who will be representing us anywhere.
You say if what?
You on our behalf.
If what?
I said if Kwabra at any point will be brought to book to be punished for leading the nation into such
what kind of punishment? Forgiveness?
Who will be representing us at any
what kind of punishment? Apology?
Causing financial loss.
My brother,
apology?
Do you think
causing financial loss?
My brother, then again, do you think that
yes, if he's found guilty of causing financial loss, what kind of punishment do you want? Are you saying an apology?
And then Ibrahim and all of them they will go.
Just go to jail.
They are there.
Yes. Okay.
Getting to the end of this year or somewhere middle of next year, you see how many people will be in court. Anyway.
Okay.
They think they can just mess up with our money and be talking.
Juliana, Steve, let me acknowledge our followers. Let me acknowledge our followers. We have Juliana watching us on Facebook. Juliana is following us. Also, we do have. I'm missing. Good, I've got you now. Sapon Apau Eric is also following us. Juliana is following. Sapon Apau Eric is also following us. Comfort J, yeah, Comfort. It's still following. I think we lost Juliana. Juliana, tune in back on Facebook. Listeners, you've been listening to Crossfire on Africanna Radio. We come your way every Wednesday from 9 p.m. It's almost 11:30 now. We started a bit late today, but we should be wrapping up any moment from now. Yes. The last issue that I wanted us to talk about was the president's 100 days in office. What's the verdict so far? In fact, he's come out to say so far so good. He's paid the nurses, one district, one factory. I hear the Turkish are coming to Ghana to set up 1,000 factories.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the president's Twitter account it came on 1,000 factories. I'm like, wow, that's good. You see, it's also good. Okay. So far, I think on a scale of 1 to 10, I need to give him some room for improvement. So I'll give him 70.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's doing well.
Wow.
But if I get my special prosecutor, I can push him up.
I mean, do you think that this? I mean, he should find it very difficult to set up this. Special prosecutor.
I don't know why it's taking so long.
Because it's exactly like what we are talking about now. That's from my own opinion.
Yeah.
That it should, the way that he was going about it, and if he's really want to set it up, it shouldn't take him till now. He could have done this a long time ago. But my feeling is his own backyard is filthy. His own backyard.
Yeah.
No.
That's my feeling. That if he sets it up,
I bet
it might affect his own people.
It's got nothing to do. Mike.
Bear in mind that
he's not setting up the special prosecutors to just go after the opposition. It's for everybody.
Exactly, but
if you talk of trying to clean up his own backyard before he breaks, no. If you listen to the interview that he granted after the 15 ministerials came out, deputy ministerial came out, he mentioned that everything is set when Parliament resumes from their break. He's going to bring it to Parliament for them to deliberate.
We wait and see, because it's something that we are all waiting to see that it happens.
It's going to come sooner than we think. Once Parliament resumes from their break, it's going to go to Parliament. Yeah, that's what he said.
But people are so anxious about that. So
we want to see that in place, and then all these things we are hearing, all this negligence, all this causing financial loss. Those who are actually taking bribes in Parliament, we can deal with them.
Let me ask you a question. You see the Ameri, the report. Why do you think the government is mute on all of these issues? They are mute because they know what they are doing. They don't want to say anything.
Young man.
All the evidence that they want to say.
I've been calling you young man.
All the evidence that they've been gathering is there. They just keep it mute. Once the special prosecutor comes.
Do you know the term justice delayed is justice denied?
Yes.
Do you know that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. That is one. Two. Cherry.
You see,
in
that same way, it's better to take your time to get the facts together. And
that's what you keep telling me. I took my time.
And to be sure, of a victory than to rush and then get it wrong.
Ghanaians will be very satisfied if they see this, special prosecutor in place and he's doing his work. This is
imagine if the special prosecutor was around.
Mike.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to say something. You see, if you remember, when the finance minister presented the budget, he made mention of the fact that they are preparing the legislative instruments to be laid in Parliament regarding the setting up of this special prosecutor. If you follow the sergeant's statement, if you remember, this was mentioned. And he said that it's something that they are going to do when Parliament comes from their recess.
Exactly.
Let me tell you something. Let me say something. I agree with you. But I want to say that it is not a priority.
And the president reiterated it.
It doesn't look like. Okay, go ahead, Steve.
The point is, Mike, in as much as who got the idea about special prosecutor?
The president himself.
It's Nana himself.
Yeah.
And then ever since you are saying that you are giving him 70% for the first 100 days.
Yeah.
Ever since he came in, he's been fulfilling the things that he started mentioning. Those that require certain things to be put in place, you have to do it.
My brother, the special prosecutor business is not a priority. Is it a priority then?
Why is it not?
But if it's a priority,
it is a priority.
The bill, you see, they could have done this in opposition before even, what do you call it?
The government machinery needs to work. He needed a minister.
I agree with you, yes.
And then
Mike.
By God's grace, now the depreciation of the city is somehow stable. Some of these things needed to be sorted. Nobody can run away.
Exactly.
You don't know.
No, and
the legislative instrument needs to be sorted.
Exactly.
Else you put somebody before them and say that you don't have any jurisdiction to try.
Exactly the point I was going to make. Yeah. Steve, you beat me to it.
No.
Get it right. You get it right and get it right.
Yeah, I agree with that principle. Yeah.
You guys are saying that they are waiting to bring a legislation instrument to Parliament. I don't dispute that. But my point is that couldn't this legislative instrument that they are putting together, how long does it take to put that legislative instrument together?
It's not about putting
it means that it was not priority. It's not a priority.
For them to review it, it will go through various stages before it starts.
Are you forgetting that Parliament are busy? They are busy with the Parliament deliberation and then debating on the Parliament.
On what?
Parliament at the moment, what they've been doing in the past 2 weeks, have been debating and approving the budget and all that. Yeah, so you can't bring in. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There are a lot of things in Parliament.
They are working, and you need to. Everything is time. It's a timetable. So if you decide to put all your budgets, everything, your ministers aside, and just.
So how long should I wait? Let's end here, my good friends. Let's end here. Tonight, let's end here.
How long
do you want me to wait for my special prosecutor? How long?
End of the year.
No, that'll be too late.
End of the year.
Yeah. I think.
I don't go to spend in our
after 6 months. Within 6 months, I will.
I tell you, if special prosecutor was in place, Ayariga would have been investigated. If special prosecutor was there, Ayariga could have been called. Yes.
Special prosecutor, they will give the special prosecutor the mandate, the sort of issues that they want him to focus on or her.
My brother, they've said it.
Going to allow him to be just going after anything, So there are certain things that we are talking about here. It may not be in the remit of the special prosecutor's duty. And he will not go and investigate Ayariga. It's not part of his job. He may be looking at it.
How do you say that? That is your opinion. That is your opinion.
No, I think I agree with Steve. Steve, there will be assigned a special.
Okay. Steve, one moment. Mr. D wants to play an advert here.
So how are you? Great. And your family in Zimbabwe?
Nigeria. Nigerian.
Oh, Nigeria. That can't be.
From award-winning director Frank Roger Arase comes two families divided for love sake.
How on earth do you sort of invite your family from Nigeria without even informing me?
Maybe I should just check them into a hotel.
Oh, that would make my family look really good, wouldn't it?
Nigerians, let's go!
An award-winning romantic comedy film, Ghana Must Go, starring Yvonne Okoro, Blossom Chukwucheku, Nkem Award, Kofi Ajololo. Ghana Must Go in Odeon Cinemas, Cineworld, and View Cinemas, April 21st, 2017.
You know what? You know
Thank you.
Cinema in London. Have they started doing that already?
Well, 21st is starting.
No, I mean, is it already in place that
the
Ghanaian movies, they show them in the...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cinemas.
They're going to show it in Milton Keynes as well.
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, listeners, it's almost 11:40. I think we have to wrap up. Tonight we've covered quite a lot. 100 days. We didn't tackle all the issues under the 100 days, but at least I have given him 70%. Give me special prosecutor and I'll add extra 10%.
I will give them 85%.
Ah, too high. Why?
No, that's not too high. The only thing, my only disappointment is to do with the handling of all these
Data force issue.
data force and then the disturbances. That's the only thing that I'm really disappointed about.
I think the media also
because
helped.
you see the
I think
budget,
the
the
media
budget itself gives a whole lot of hope in terms of it's reflecting in the rate of the CDs and the currency and all that. So you see, as far as the governance bit is concerned, and then the economy, they are doing their best, and the promises that they made and all that, I'll give them 85. But like I said, my only concern is to do with the handling of these disturbances right after the election. Data for these vigilantes. But I'm glad that finally these guys have been put before court. The law, rule of law seems to be working. And I know going forward, I mean, anyone who's planning to do the same will think twice. Because they need to be dealt ruthlessly with. We need our
So
peace.
your biggest disappointment so far is that lawlessness about Delta Force and all that.
Because the other thing that,
All right.
because you see, remember during the election, there was the opposition or the NDC used to talk about the president being violent and all that. So he comes in and all these things are happening. If he doesn't put an end to it, all these good things that's been happening. We didn't even talk about the reduction of fertilizers, 50% reduction in the fertilizer prices, other stuff that the government are doing at the moment. And if you go to the media, I mean, the radio stations every day, all that you hear about is the data falls, data falls, data falls. Even today, there was Ablubushi, violent.
The Kunkumbes and the Dagombes.
Even that data falls still overshadows that. You understand? So.
That's what I was saying, that the media hyped it so much that
the media can we can decide.
All right,
which
Steve.
Yeah.
Let me give you your last word, and then we bring the show to an end.
Oh, okay. What I would like to just mention is that as a nation, Ghana, we need to be.
You have 1 minute, Steve.
We need to be considerate to our nation. We need to be really considerate, especially the political class.
Who are you speaking to? The current government or the previous one?
Everybody. Because what was happening in the previous government, if this government they are not careful, they can also do that because they are human beings. It's something that we really need to be very considerate to our nation, and let's not just think about ourselves now and now. We have to look into the future as well. A lot of them will come on the radios and TVs and mention, let's think about posterity, let's think about posterity. They mention that, but in their actions are totally opposite. Because they are saying that somebody should be thinking about posterity, but for them, they are just amassing state resource with left, right, center, everything, every part of their body, they want to use it to grab. And it's something that the politicians, the civil society, everybody should be mindful of the fact that there is no way they can make our nation prosperous when they are just selfish and greedy and looting the state to just enrich themselves. And I think if we're able to depart from that path and then come to a point where we are all focusing on building a nation, by God's grace, we'll be able to do something to enhance the image of our nation.
All right. Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you, listeners. Yes, it's Crossfire, and we're bringing the show to an end. We thank you all, those who have been following us on Facebook and YouTube, and then on TuneIn as well. Yes, we'll come your way again next week, same time from 9 o'clock with another edition of Crossfire. Tonight, your host has been myself, Mike Jones, and Mr. Richard Agyepong. Mr. D, our technical producer and director, has also been helping us, and of course, Stephen, our calm head and the calm mind in the house. He is on the line. He joined us from Bristol. We thank you so much. Listeners, thank you for staying with us. And Mr. D, I think you want to put on something there. So good night.
Africanna radio. Yes, Shaman Gadasabay. But I'm not with them. And I'm more memorable. Never my Jones. One Bema. One Bema. The just answer Bema. We make it so little. But I'm not with them. Then make you get some professional federal contours. The just answer Bema. My Jones Bema. Yes, Shaman can be growing. Don't have to grow. But I'm not so little. Bema be at the point. One Bema. At the poor Bema. At the poor one stroker. One Bema. Will make us a baby. One animal on yourself. One Bema. Yes, Shaman can get some away. Another Bema. Will make us a two for so from. We don't want to share them. We don't know who feed the drawers. A Sarah Brecani, Mr. D, Mr. Don Fernando, one Bema, then Monyanfo, we make it say Antoniano, Bema way at Dianaba, we couldn't come Bema, Mr. Mark Jones, a just Santier, and another, Yamamunia Monadio.